Now funding on Kickstarter a brand new set of Halloween mask pins, vintage style pins designed by me, Kneon. Check it out at halloween.ninja. That's halloween.ninja.
Things are getting absolutely crazy with the Pokemon card market. That, I think, One Piece as well. And we saw Lacana's also having some issues. So now it's gotten so bad that there's a new task force in Japan to crack down on the scalpers and the fakes. Because it's gotten to a point now that if you want any of the stuff, good luck. Because the scalpers are lining up and they take everything before anybody else can get there. Not just for Pokemon. The One Piece is having trouble. Lacana, there was a big issue in Paris, or no, it was UK. The Paris one was okay. The UK one had a terrible time because only one store in the UK got the new Lacana set with the princesses in it. And what happened was they had line that was all organized and it was neat, and they had been there like most of the night. And then earlier, like in the morning, a bunch of people showed up and started talking to the people in the front. And then they said, oh, no, those are our friends. They're not going to do anything. And they did that thing where they line up parallel to the line so they could bum rush the door. And it ended up in such a fiasco with them trying to jump the line, all moving to the front of the line, even though they weren't in line, that they ended up not opening the store till later in the day, and they didn't let people buy the cards at all because it ended up being such an ordeal with the scalpers. And we keep seeing this. I saw a bunch of videos about, there was a drop at Sam's Club yesterday. And there was a bunch of people for that one, and they were lined up, and people were showing up at the front of the line to jump line and take everything. And they had police there at the one. They told them to go to the back of the line. They had security telling them to go, they weren't allowed to do that because they keep going to the front of the line and trying to take everything. We keep seeing it over and over and over again. It's gotten really bad. There's a lot of thefts and everything else too. And we're going to talk about all of that in this video. Hello, I'm Geeky Sparkles. Welcome to Clownfish TV. I'm going to give you a woohoo. Woohoo! I'm also going to remind you that if you would like more Clownfish TV, you can go out to more.clownsfishtv.com where you can find more information, more videos and things that we are doing that aren't over here. If you like podcasts instead, you can go out to Clownfish TV Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts at, and you can find us there. So we're going to talk about this. But yeah, so now it's gotten so bad. Japan's going to make a task force to crack down on this in Japan. I hope they do something over here too, because it's terrible. We're going to talk about the Sam's thing here a little more in a bit, because that was a nightmare. So they're saying that they're going to create a special team to tackle ongoing scalping and counterfeits impacting Pokemon cards and other popular tabletop card games. According to Kyoto News, lawmakers from Japan's Liberal Democratic Party are preparing to launch a parliamentary group focused on the country's rapidly growing trading card industry. The group will hold its first meeting on July 23rd, so tomorrow, where lawmakers will hear from industry organizations and Japan's Ministry of Economy, Trade, and Industry about the issues facing collectors, stores, and card companies. Because what happens is the people that want the cards, that collect the cards, aren't able to get them without paying a lot of money because the speculator market and the scalpers are going in and taking it all. And I got to talk about a personal story about that here in a bit about the Sam's Club drop. So they're going to begin an anti-scalping crackdown. Popular cards like Pokemon Yu-Gi-Oh! Talk about how they have rare cards selling for thousands of dollars. And I guess Logan Paul's graded Pikachu was sold for $16.4 million. That's insane to me. So they said it's life-changing amounts of money if you can get the right cards, and these boxes, go for a lot of money. So they're talking about how two brothers went viral because they stole $95,000 worth of cards in a heist. The South Korea had to cancel an event after 40,000 fans flooded the event. So they're talking about the issue. So to help counter these issues, lawmakers in Japan will discuss possible rules to make trading card transactions safer and more transparent. The government-based group will also look at bulk buying, resale practices, and the possible use of expensive cards for money laundering and its ongoing crackdown. Japan's Toy Association revealed the trading card game market reached around $2.3 billion in 2025. So lawmakers hope to support the industry's growth outside Japan. But, this is a big problem. And they also said that, we talked this before, the Pokemon company said they might do government issued ID checks for products. We've seen some retailers were like slicing the packaging and stuff like that, so people can't easily resell them like they've been doing. But it's led to all kinds of fights. In this instance, there was two men choking each other out over Pokemon cards. They said what happened was there was these guys and they're on their phone standing near a machine, but not at the machine. So another person walked in the machine to get a pack of cards because they were just standing there waiting for the restock. They got a pack of cards, and because it worked for them, all hell broke loose. Some guy was getting choked, they were getting pushed. I know there's instances of there were shootings. They were like dropping cards and running them over. It's just been insane. And then the theft has been off the charts too. There was a video you can go out and look at about these guys in Australia, and they were stealing One Piece and Pokemon cards. There's, all kinds of stuff going on. They said there was a card shop that was hit for 20,000 in stolen goods. We're seeing it all the time, like at conventions, they have like card shows and things, and people are trying to steal cards and they'll pocket them. And the one instance, the one guy was selling the cards to this kid, and the kid was stealing cards the same time he was buying cards from him. And then he'd take the cards he stole to another vendor and sell the cards to that vendor, and then take the money from them and come back and buy the cards he wanted. So there's been a lot of kids getting in trouble for theft. I saw a video the other day where these kids were at a store and they were on camera pocketing cards, and then the mall cop got them. It's been an ongoing issue. It's insane to me. And the scalping part is just nuts. Yesterday, Sam's Club had a pack of cards they were doing. Let me find it here. This hundreds camp outside of Fresno Sam's Club. I had a Pokemon card release. Sam's Club had a special card pack, Ascended Heroes Focused Fighters collection. And they had people lining up outside all these Sam's Clubs. That's where I saw all the cops were like getting involved, and it was a big mess. But what happened was it was a lot of scalpers that would come in line. Now, supposedly Sam's had put out a thing. I saw the paper, and they said they were going to make it that memberships can only buy 2 per the main membership. And that way they could get more people getting cards. People would get tickets because that's how many 2 per person they were going to get. But Sam's Clubs weren't enforcing that. So what was happening was people were going into the Sam's Club, loading up their carts with a bunch of them, or they had multiple accounts because they were opening different membership accounts. So they had different cards, even though it was the same person, either the people under them or they were opening a new membership account. So they were walking out with 30 packages or more when they were only supposed to have 2. And the rules stated it was going to be 2 per account per person. You weren't supposed to be using your sub accounts to buy them, but that wasn't being enforced. People were going to self-checkout and doing it there, and no one was stopping them. So they were walking out with 30 a package of them, 16 or whatever, and people were getting mad. Then people who had tickets that waited in line all night didn't get, and because the ones that took them and they took all the tickets, they took a couple of tickets and took all of it. I kept seeing that. So that was supposed to be what was going on. And last night, they were going to have a drop on Sam's at would have been 11 o'clock Eastern. And I know this because I was going to get 2 packages for my son and his friend, one for each of them, because they actually collect them. They aren't scalpers. They actually buy them, open them. They collect the cards. They're not like the people reselling. So I said I'd try to get them one since I have the membership. Well, about 2 minutes till everybody was getting logged out. Like we were logged in, everybody was ready to go. 2 minutes till his site got hit. In my opinion, it was one of those, bot attack type things where they're all trying to take out the inventory out the back. Now, the rules were if you bought during the day, you weren't allowed to buy at night. But I don't think a lot of people knew that. So everybody was hitting it, trying to double dip. And as a result, it locked the site up. People couldn't check out. People couldn't buy anything. People couldn't log in. It was insanity. And apparently when the site came back up, it was gone. And then they re-dropped it again at 2 a.m. for people that were still around because the whole site had just shut down and been blocked and a problem. Luckily, I was able to get through the first time. I don't know how I did because my computer wouldn't let me in, but I had my phone logged in because I shop at Sam's, so I was already logged in. And I was able, after a lot of trouble, to get to the 2 packs I wanted at the drop. But it was absolute insanity. My son was like, if you can't get them, Mom, don't worry about it. Because like I said, they're collectors. They aren't in it to make money. And I was able to get 2. But it was just ridiculous. And what happens is that all ends up on eBay. It's all these scalpers, and it is a problem. So they most definitely need to do something about it. And Locana's facing a similar thing. Those card packs were like selling for several $100s if you could get them. It's getting violent. They're line jumping. It's kind of like Black Friday used to be, what back when you had to go to Black Friday and at the store, but like far, far worse. And I was at Black Fridays where I watched people bum rush the door, and then people were getting run into the cement pillars and into the walls and getting hurt. And stampedes and stuff because of people not waiting their turn and trying to make sure they could flip and make a buck. And this is what keeps happening, and they're going to have to do something about it, because not even the fact that it's not going to the people it's intended for, but the violence and the insanity. And we see video after video of fist fights at retailers. It's gotten to a point where I think some, like, smaller shops aren't even putting them out unless, like, they have a wait list or something. There are people that are trying to make sure it gets in the hands of customers. I think the ones that were splitting the packages open, so they couldn't resell it unless they opened all the cards and saw if their individual cards worth it, was an interesting idea, except some people collect them for real and they don't want them opened. I don't know. It's just, the whole thing is crazy. Something has to be done. And they're doing it in Japan. That doesn't mean it's going to, unless they can find rules that help over here too, it's just going to be more insanity. The cards that are released could resell as much for that one pack for $200. So people were selling these for I saw someone asking $300. So they're walking out with 2 packs. You get your 2 packs. You can get $400 to $600 for those. People were walking out with a cart with 20. So of course, people that were in line waiting for their 2 were getting angry. And it's just a recipe for disaster. And I don't know what to tell you. Something's got to change. And it's not just Pokemon. There's several other people, other card games and stuff too. Like I said, Lorcana is another big one where it's gone. They used to have, I think they still do, San Diego would have special cards, and people were camping out all night. I think they had to put rules in place a couple years ago that you weren't allowed to do that anymore, because they were just parking it wherever, and then sanity was off the charts. So I don't know if it's going to help. We'll see what happens, but they're going to have to do something, because this is getting out of hand. And people are getting hurt. I think employees are going to end up getting hurt. And it's over paper that's only worth it because, a YouTuber started making it more popular again. It's crazy to me. So there you go, guys. Good luck if you want cards. I hope you get them, especially if you're collectors. I wish luck to you. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Now funding on Kickstarter, a brand new set of Halloween mask pins, vintage style pins designed by me, Kneon. Check it out at halloween.ninja. That's halloween.ninja.